I'm Harrison Brown from Biking to the World. I just biked 8,600 miles from Alaska to Florida on my bicycle. I'm here in Miami, Florida for Fish on New Year's Eve!
I'm Harrison Brown and I'm an adventure cyclist.
I'm going to be biking by myself over 6,000 miles from Fairbanks, Alaska, all the way to Key West, Florida.
Every day on the road is an adventure.
Let's start pedaling because the adventure begins right now. After spending almost a week in New Orleans and spending Thanksgiving there, I'm now hitting the road in my final push along the Gulf Coast of Mexico, all the way down into Florida and then into Key West, my final destination to complete the journey all the way from Alaska to Florida, Anchorage to Key West. So, in order to complete that journey, I better get biking!
I would be biking along the Gulf Coast, where some of the most destructive devastation caused by Hurricane Katrina happened in 2005. As I crossed the bridges of the Gulf, I would arrive on Dolphin Island and have to take one more ferry to get across the Mobile Bay. I soon arrived at one of my last major milestones.
I'm on the state line between Alabama and Florida. I'm about to enter into Florida, my very last state. I've gone all the way from Alaska and all the way down to Florida. Now I still will have several hundred miles to make it to Key West, but I'm now in the final stages, the final push of my big biking adventure. So it's time to get biking into the world!
While I kept on biking through Florida, there was one thing on my mind, which was to get to the southernmost point in the United States, Key West. I biked through the metropolitan area of Tampa, and then it was on to my last natural preserve.
After navigating through the senior citizens, the homeless people, the orange groves, I have finally made it through the top of Florida, through the panhandle, through the central part, through Tampa, through the metropolitan area, and now I'm going through the Everglades in one of my very final pushes on my way to Key West. So let's get biking into the world.
The next day, I found myself on an airboat tour of the Everglades. Whee!
Now it's time to go see if we can find some alligators!
As I left the Everglades, I found myself on the very last leg of this journey.
Over 8,000 miles, and I have crossed from the mainland of Florida, and I have now reached the Florida Keys. I'm in Key Largo, and over the next few days, I'm going to be going all the way down to the southernmost point of the United States, Key West. It's time for me to keep on biking into the world!
In Key Largo, I would celebrate reaching the Atlantic Ocean on the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. Just 6 months prior, I spent this summer solstice on the Pacific on the other side of the continent in Haines, Alaska. My journey was slowly reaching the end. The Keys stretch over 90 miles, so I still had a pretty long ride to make it to my final destination of Key West.
Right behind me, you can see this historic 7-mile bridge. It's a bridge that's 7 miles long. Once I'm on it, there's no turning back. So I'm gonna take it, and this is gonna take me all the way down to Key West.
On this particular day, there was a small accident leaving me to enjoy 7 Mile Bridge all to myself.
I just finished crossing the 7-mile bridge. Now, due to a traffic accident, I actually made better time than any car crossing that bridge. You know what? I guess it sucks to drive a car, baby. Well, I've biked over 8,500 miles and it's taken me over 7 months, but I finally reached the most southern point in the United States of America, all the way here in Key West. I've biked all the way from Anchorage, Alaska, right here to the southernmost point in the United States of America. Whee!
That's right, my reaction to biking 8,500 miles from Alaska to Florida was to say, whee! Now that I had reached Key West, it was time for me to visit a very important landmark.
So just behind me is Ernest Hemingway's house right here in Key West. All the way up in Dawson City in the Yukon, I got to go to Jack London's house and Robert Service's house. But now, way down in the Keys, in the southernmost point of the United States, I'm gonna go see Ernest Hemingway's house. I guess I'm just one old man in the sea.
Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "It is by riding a bicycle that you learn the contours of a country best." Well, over the past 7 months riding from Alaska to Florida, I sure did learn the contours of this country. While in the Keys, I even got to put my sea legs on and go kayaking through the mangrove trees.
Ladies and gentlemen, I biked all the way from Anchorage, Alaska, all the way to Key West, Florida. I'm right here in the Florida Keys right now, soaking this big journey up after 8,500 miles, and what a big journey it has been. But before it comes to an end, I've got one last journey to get to. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go biking into the world.
I would head to Miami for one last big adventure.
Feel like I'm ruling the world. Never held around, my God, it's a shame.
Before that adventure started, I would need to get some coffee and a burger.
Right behind me is the Alaskan Coffee Roasting Company. Now, the only other location they have besides this one right here in Miami, Florida, is the one in Fairbanks, Alaska, over 8,000 miles away. Now, I was there 7 months ago, and now I'm here in Florida, eating at the second Alaskan Coffee Roasting location. There goes the semi, making all that noise.
Singing loud, one buying the food, but at least you won't feel like you lost it for good. So pick up your brains and burn it together. You're ready to shout, this is only a teaser. You pick up your brains.
So I'm here in Miami, and I'm about to eat my last great burger into the world. I'm right here at the Shake Shack. Now, this is actually a chain started off in New York and is now spread, but I'm told that the Shake Shack right here on the East Coast is supposed to be one of the best burgers in town. So you know what? I'm gonna go get my Shake Shack on.
Got me now, better get ready to sing.
That's a good burger. That's adding a little shake into my shack. Yes, I'm talking to myself. Yep.
I then arrived at my last adventure at the American Airlines Arena in Miami.
I'm Harrison Brown from Biking to the World. I just biked 8,600 miles from Alaska to Florida on my bicycle. I'm here in Miami, Florida for Fish on New Year's Eve!
Happy New Year!
In 2014, I rode my bike from Alaska to Florida, and I rang in the new year with my favorite band, Fish. The weekend would be filled with some unforgettable jams. The music of Fish had been a big part of my journey, and it was amazing to see them on the very last leg of my amazing bike adventure. After an amazing weekend of Fish, it would finally be time for me to pack my bags one last time.
Today's my last day here in Miami. It's been almost 8 months since I got onto an airplane and flew to Anchorage, Alaska, and began riding my bicycle all the way down across the continent into Key West, Florida, and then back up into Miami. It's been a grand total of 8,600 miles at the moment, and now it's time for the last journey of my big journey. I'm gonna unload my bicycle and load up onto a train and head back to Los Angeles, but there's still lots to go, so I'm gonna keep on biking into the world / to the train station, and then we'll figure it out from there. Yay!
I may have reached Key West, but there's still one more episode to go. So please continue to watch my journey on the train from Miami back to Los Angeles in the next episode of Biking into the World.